Hey, welcome back, Gimp.
Hey, here we go. We've got a man limping in. Been here before.
I mean, what happened here? Why are you in a cast?
It's not a cast. the official.
It looks like a brace.
It's a trom.
A trom.
Interesting. You slipped chasing a cow.
I wish I had a good story for you.
It's not one of those sexy stories. Hard to romanticize it.
Every time someone asks me, I just roll my eyes and I just want to make something up.
I would probably.
So what really happened was I was out checking cows and took the inside of my foot and raked some hay, and I kind of felt my knee just something didn't feel right. I was like, man, that's sore. So I was limping around on it, and about an hour later, we was at Pee Wee Wrestling, and one of my boys come up and said, hey, Dad, tie my shoe. And I said, yeah, that's no problem. So I just went down on this knee, and when I went to stand up, it just,
ooh. Did you cry?
No.
I felt like it.
No, I was so embarrassed. Like Rob Marhoover come over, and he's like, you tore something. I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, but my knee's out of place. I need you to put it back in. He's like, I am not touching it.
So what did it feel like?
Like my knee was out of place.
Just like
your kneecap or the whole knee?
The whole knee
wasn't.
No, I couldn't bend it. I couldn't do anything.
So what was the injury?
So I had a bucket handle tear on my lateral meniscus and tore my LCL.
Oh my God.
So went in, repaired the meniscus, and then I have a cadaver LCL.
There you go.
Ooh, how'd your body take that?
So far, so good.
Sometimes they'll reject it.
I not had any issues.
They give you any prep on that?
No, I was disappointed. I was talking to someone else. I can't remember who it was. They had a cadaver LCL or ACL, I think. Mm-hmm. Anyways, she's like, did you get the bio? I said, what bio? And I said, well, whenever I had mine done at Adena, they give you a brief bio of the person that donated the ACL.
That'd be kind of cool.
That's what I thought. But they didn't give me any of that. They're just sign here. I signed. And
did they put you on like antibiotics or anything before? Yeah.
Wonder how long that gentleman was dead.
I don't know. I don't even know if it was a gentleman.
I'd say not long.
Probably have to be a gentleman. Wouldn't they have to be about your size?
I don't have a clue. There was, I'm telling you, there was like zero prep.
I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. Well, I'd say a gentleman your size is probably the same shape as yours.
Probably junk.
You know, bigger dudes like us, chubbies. We have the weight is hard on our knees, ankles, feet.
Yes. I'll never forget when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we were packing feed up to the barn, and I was throwing one over my back or over my shoulder, and my grandpa grabbed another one, set it on my shoulder, and grabbed another one. And I'm just standing there with like 3 sacks, and he's like, no, never forget this. He's like, you have the same skeletal structure as everyone else. Put 150 pounds on, this is what it's going to feel like.
Oh, he was giving you fat talk.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, that's an interesting way to approach it.
Just throw 150 pounds worth of feed on a man.
It makes a difference.
On the outside as opposed to the inside.
Why was he was he a big guy? Or is he a big guy?
No. My dad struggled for years.
Your dad's a big man.
Yeah, Dad's a big guy, and Grandpa was always super conscious of that. Grandpa and even Uncle Don, none of those guys were small, so to speak.
Big frames.
Yeah.
Working man frames.
Yeah, exactly. Just blue collar. Working in the dirt, carpentry, whatever.
Using your body frames.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
So now you sent me that picture that you had from a while ago, and you was on that tractor, and you said, I'm going to get back to it because I've been riding him hard.
Oh, God, he's been
bad. I've been riding him hard. And so he sent me a skinny pic. You know, he went back to the archives. Yeah. And
the sad thing was it wasn't that long ago.
What's the highest you were? Now, you're down a little bit from your heaviest, probably.
No, this is the heaviest I've ever been.
What are you?
And 90% of it, I'm blaming on this just because
well, there's not much you can do.
You haven't been able to walk for a couple months. You've gimped around for a minute.
Yeah, 284 right now.
284. That's not horrible. I mean,
no, it's horrible.
No, that is horrible. Don't get me wrong, but
that is horrible.
Don't misunderstand me.
Hey, don't get twisted.
You're fat as hell. But what I'm saying is that you are still bounce backable. Like, you could still lose weight. Now, boys, you get up into that 350, 400 pounds.
It takes some time, man.
Well, you were almost 400. And
yeah.
You know, Ruck said that last night, or Kiefer did. Yeah. Chad came in gym last night.
Yeah.
And I saw it earlier that day. I was making Mun's thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was like, my God, Chad looks thin.
Yeah, you look good, dude.
Yeah,
it's been a while, man.
So is this all from just not eating sugar? I get asked
pretty much diet, dude.
Dad asked me that.
That's most of it. The thing is, I mean, everybody's heard the story on this podcast 100 times. About 10 years ago, maybe what? How old's Millie? I don't
12.
know, 12, 13. That's. I got diagnosed
then
with type 2 diabetes, and kind of ignored it and floated along for a while. But started losing weight. I mean, here's the thing. If you've got that, you're going to lose weight.
Why?
Because your body will take care of itself a little bit.
Okay. Just with diabetes.
Yes. Yeah, it's not good.
Okay.
But you will. But I finally got serious. I mean, I don't know. It's probably right about the time. I mean, I don't know, Pudge. It was maybe a little before we started the podcast. Mm-hmm. And completely changed my diet, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, completely.
Yeah.
And not that I mean, it was just more of just really tried to live right with the
portions.
Diabetes deal.
Yeah.
Start eating less and start really cutting carbs. Or doing this, okay, today, I mean, I've had a couple beers, right? So if I know I'm going to have some beers, that really restricts what I can eat.
Yeah.
And
I would agree.
And then the other thing is, bourbon is your best friend.
Yes.
Or vodka.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a drinker, I mean,
Yeah.
it keeps up. But then, then I added in about a year ago, the exercise, which is,
that's what sped you up now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you've lost I was looking at that one intro that we had whenever we were smoking those cigars.
Yeah.
Dude, you were huge.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that when we saw that.
Well, you had to have been 320, 330.
But there was it was about 300, a little over.
Okay.
But there was no exercise incorporated into that routine. And I mean, even at that time, dude, I felt better at that time. Like I had gotten under 300, well, about 300, but dude, I had a lot to lose.
The Oglebay golf trip, you were probably at your peak.
Oh yeah, man. And then not long after that, I got married, had kids. I mean, my God, man, if you see our wedding pictures, I mean,
touche.
I had dark circles under my eyes, bud. I mean,
don't you hate that you let yourself not? I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
But don't you look back on that and say, "Man, I could have got a lot more out of those years."
Oh my God, dude! Oh my God, I didn't even realize it, man.
Yeah.
I was just so unconscious to health.
Yeah.
Or anything. I didn't care, man. I was just going hard,
That's it. That's it right there. I don't think it's so much that me or you or Pudge. I don't think it's that we don't care. Or we didn't
right.
care.
Oh yeah.
It's that you're so stuck in the moment, like you said. Got married, had kids. You're grinding in your career,
you know how fast things going. Yeah,
exactly.
and you're trying to get ahead doing that. But man, I'll tell you the thing about it is, I mean, I'm down a lot now, and it's just I just feel so much better as far as my joints. And I'm having problems with those now anyway. Plus, here's the other thing. Here's the other contributing factor. I mean, it's not all this that I've done because I'm so disciplined. A lot of it is I also just turned 50.
You're losing muscle.
Yeah. I mean, I'm losing a lot of muscle.
Especially compared to where you were.
Yeah, because my job, dude.
Sedentary.
I'm not moving around. And now I'm just starting to get to the point I'm getting a little self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not skinny by any means yet.
Yeah, there's people that don't know you that'll watch this and be like, what are them?
What's he talking about? Oh my God, he's acting like he's thin. I mean, what the fuck is he talking about?
They will. They're hard on us.
If I was that fat, if I was that fat, I'd be, hey, that guy is going to orphan his kids. He's fat as fuck.
Well, that's what Full Sin Dan said. If you want to orphan your kids.
Yeah,
we had a YouTuber, Full Sin Dan.
Yeah. Full Sin Dan. Fuck you. Yeah. Way to make a guy feel good, dude. all that guy proves is that he's an asshole.
His social awareness.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you hate to be at a party with him?
Oh God, nobody is.
Nobody is.
Yeah, that's why he's putting shit like that on the internet at midnight.
Exactly. I was telling Dad last night. I have one of them. People have said this to me before. I've got one of them freakish builds that no matter how much I work out, I've been skinny. I've been 190 pounds within the last 10 years. I've been 200. I've been 220. Right now I'm about 235, 240. I just don't look skinny no matter what I do.
You've got way more discipline than me. And that's the thing. Like, I will never look skinny.
Yeah, I just don't look skinny.
It's just like right now the thing, and a lot of this is age. Like, dude, I'm starting to get the
turkey beard,
turkey neck.
Me too,
you know,
I've had it.
And the thing is,
Embrace
like,
it.
yeah, well, I mean, that's just the way it is, dude. you know, like it doesn't mean that, you know why my face is thinner? Probably because I'm older, man.
Yeah. I like Mindy plays mine. I think my head's getting bigger, actually.
Does your head get bigger as you get older?
Man, I tell you, these hats is about all I can stand. I mean, man, I do think my head's getting
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
I think there is something to that.
Look at Rogan's head.
It's huge.
Oh, jeez.
Well, and then they also say that your earlobes keep growing. And I would agree with that.
Mine look like a big old piece of bubble gum now.
Oh,
never paid attention.
Mine keep getting bigger, dude.
I just noticed the other day, our boy Brennan, he doesn't even have any earlobes.
He never has.
Right to his face.
Yeah. He's a lucky man. Of course, that man
he's
right
got
there.
you beat way. I mean, his straight lines.
I'll never forget 7th grade, Mrs. Slavin's, we're talking about, what is it, regressive genes and everything. And she's just out of nowhere, I remember like half asleep, and she's like, look at Kyle's earlobes. Like, he has none. That's a regressive gene. And I'm like, Jesus.
That's kind of harsh. That's kind of harsh.
I wish they'd have came up with a nickname like Loby or something.
Let me tell you something that would have never been said to me. Hey, man, that man's got no earlobes.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet right now I'm carrying a ton of
pounds.
weight in my earlobes. Yeah.
They could draw blood out of mine.
Oh, yeah. They have. Mine.
You had your ears pierced.
Not my lobes.
Oh, well, then what did you have pierced there, freak boy?
The bone?
I had an industrial.
What's that?
See?
We don't even know. Were there gauges in there?
Yeah.
No.
You gauge?
It was the thing around 06.
No, I don't. I disagree.
Were you going through? You were there. Hey, now let's be honest. Did you go through a goth phase?
No. It was nothing like that.
I don't remember this. You say it was a thing, and I don't remember.
No, you wasn't in Columbus at the time.
Yeah.
Well, I was in Athens. Close enough.
In 07?
07, I was back here. I came back here in 05.
Well, I'd take your word for it. I agree.
Oh, no, you can still see it. I still have the scar.
What was it?
Up at the top.
Yeah.
Little
it's
loop
just a
up there.
No, it's a
Bar.
bar.
Oh, yeah, that goes. I've seen that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I got to see pics.
I bet
You remember it. I
got to imagine that hurt like hell.
It did.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, it did. Yeah, it was a phase.
I think that something like that would be hard to sleep in, dude.
No,
I never had any issues with
no.
Any of you guys sleep in headphones?
No.
I do.
I just let mine roll.
I listen to podcasts in my headphones all night.
I just leave the speaker on.
Me too.
Do
I
you
just
really?
keep it down, yeah.
Yeah, just keep it down.
I can't.
And then I
see,
set the timer on your phone so you can set it to go off.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I can't hear. Like, even if and I don't know if this is like age. I spent some years with heavy equipment in the strip mines, and then I was a band guy.
The band.
Well, see, dude, you probably.
Man, I can remember Jeremy Rupert one time. I think I mentioned on the pod. It about brought me to my knees. I was standing there. It was at the Waverly Moose, and it was they had a decent sized stage, but for some reason I had gotten like really close to his top cymbal. I don't know what they're called. And dude, he racked that thing, and it just felt like somebody just reached in my ear with a knife. And it about dropped me. It literally went.
Did you ever after a show, like you go get in your truck, get ready to come, like were your ears ever like ringing,
tingling
or something? Yeah.
Like
God, I couldn't.
Yeah, so it depends on where you were. Like, man, that back room of the Elks.
Oh,
Park's Edge.
yeah.
Park's that's a loud room.
You know though, like I've as a
Wagon
person
wheelers,
as a person that's there watching in the audience. There are sometimes you'll go to watch a band and it is so damn loud.
I watched a band.
That it's uncomfortable.
Whenever I had to borrow, I watched a band one time. This guy's on the street. They were so loud. Imagine this: you're paying a band, right? And I watched them run the crowd out
because they were so loud.
Because they were so loud.
What, they just keep turning it up?
Oh yeah, and then like you go say something to them, like, "Hey man, can we turn that down?" They think you're being an asshole. It's like, no, they want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know,
look, people are leaving, dude.
And there's a difference between loud and good. Like,
right.
You know, like I always did say this. Runyon was probably by far the best class of show that I ever consistently hired.
Right.
You know, I mean, whenever you hire Shane Runyon,
you know you're going to get a good show
every time.
Yep.
Every single time.
Yep.
And dude, he just had this way of mixing his sound with real low punchy bass. Not like that.
Right.
Like whenever I say punchy, like, you know, sustained bass is like, you know, it wasn't that muffles everything, but boy, whenever they hit that kick, you could just feel it punching.
Is it the bass that runs people out?
No, it's typically the mids.
Okay.
The mids is kind of a mix between the two, a treble and your bass.
Yeah.
And if you have really high mids, everything's loud.
Okay.
You know, but like
you have trouble. Like what I've noticed when a band is really, really loud, love them or hate them, it's like all of a sudden almost their lyrics and stuff seem like they're lost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just this loud noise.
And have you noticed that like acoustic, and you can listen to a lot louder acoustics than you can electric.
Yeah.
And that's your frequencies.
Oh, okay.
So that's not only decibels, but frequencies.
But when you get electric like that, it's just
more frequency. So it's just more coming at you. Your ear is essentially like a circuit.
Sure.
Okay. And it everything's running through, or I shouldn't say circuit, but it's almost like a outlet or inlet for power and sound. So like you can imagine if that frequency, so you've got all these acoustic frequencies and then you throw that electric one in there, because acoustic is what's natural. That's in your room.
Sure.
And that's why electric will also hit you different outside. It's easier. But if you throw electric inside, oh my God.
Hey guys, time to pay some bills. This show brought to you tonight by Brad and Sarah Munn, owners of your local McDonald's restaurants. Brad and Sarah have done a lot for our community, and McDonald's has done a lot for all of us. You know, the statement, "I'm loving it," we can all relate to that. We've been loving it for years, and we love what they do for our communities and our families. But let me talk about a big charity that they do, and that is the Ronald McDonald House. Man, anytime you get a chance to leave your change for that, it's a great thing. They allow parents of sick children to stay with their kids at the hospital for free. And that's just the kind of things that McDonald's does. Get out and support your McDonald's restaurant. I bet that like being a sound engineer then is pretty
meaningful.
I mean, yeah, because they've got to be able to make that sound good inside.
Now, what you running up against is their ear.
Right. If they like it loud.
You guys don't realize this, but every single one of us is hearing my voice different right now.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear your voice different than he does. And you'll never know this. You know, like I don't know what I sound like to you, and you don't know what you sound like to me. And a sound guy, you are only as good as your sound guy. So if your sound guy likes his stuff cranking lows, like no lows or a lot of lows, well, that's what he likes.
And that's how you're going to sound.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an important piece.
Very. And you know what I always, it was kind of a telltale sign if you didn't have a sound man, you weren't that big, because you cannot set your sound on stage. Mm-hmm. Okay. I have no idea what I sound like through the fronts.
That guy has to hear it and understand.
Yeah.
Is that why like a lot of places like, and I'm talking like small venue type places. I noticed like going around watching a lot of the folky artists that I listen to, like a lot of those type of venues have their own sound guy
yeah.
that's always there. Yeah.
He knows what you want.
And is that it? How do they figure that out, though, dude? Do they just know the acoustics in the room?
The owner,
so they can make everybody sell. Oh, the owner said, "Hey, we're not going to run people out because it's too damn loud."
Yeah. And just like if you go to any of those Nashville bars, those are all house sound. Okay.
Right.
And the reason being is because they know what their house is. You can't go to the same venue with the same set of speakers and set them up the same exact way every place you go. Right. You're going to have error. Well, they eliminate all that error by just saying, I tell you what, you come plug in, run your own stage sound. Okay. We'll take care of out fronts. You just give us the signal. We'll mix you. And it's great because then you can do a house kick with
and those dudes are probably artists. Themselves.
They're more valuable than a guitar player.
Yeah.
By far.
And like when you're dealing with a house sound guy, though, do they argue with the band sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't hear, or like the musicians, I can't hear, you're going to turn me up. Okay, you're up. Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah.
There was another point I was going to say with that, too. You said sound guys. It's what was you saying right before that? It was something real. It was right there. God,
what I was saying is, a lot of those like mid-major venues, like I'm not talking about arenas.
Sound engineers, I know.
Yeah. And a sound engineer's that's an artist in and of itself.
I know what I was thinking of. So whenever that happens, or think of a sound engineer, and then realize that let's say that you're mixing a record for a guy, okay. Well, it's only as good as what you listen to it through. Okay. Whenever you're mixing. Because they always, I've heard a lot of guys say this, you should mix your music on the shittiest pair of speakers you can find. Because if it sounds good in them, it'll sound good in everything.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So you don't want the best of the best.
It'll hide a lot.
Just clean, yeah.
It'll hide a lot. I mean, you've heard that Bose.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, that thing. Kyle, I got a Bose over there. I mean, I completely sold out of I had a whole music trailer I brought to your house. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I mean, I had a whole music trailer filled full of speakers that I would pack around every single weekend. That Bose will blow them out.
I'm a firm believer in Bose,
and I can do it from my phone. Everything's Bluetooth, but I mean, Bose, and I think it's a 6x9. I think is what's in that with 12 tweeters, where I did have like 4 15s. Okay. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And those were good speakers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's like, man, I mean,
Yep.
You can imagine somebody showing up with a Marshall half stack to a room this size. It's just not made to do it.
Right.
Oh, I mean, and that's where it's almost unpleasant to be in the audience.
Yeah. And that guy, typically, band people do this. Sorry, band guys, but you do. They look at it. They don't look at it as, they don't give a shit what that crowd thinks. Most of them. The good ones do.
No, they think of it, but no. I mean,
they're there for them to rock.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get that. But man, how many times have you been in a venue?
Then don't go play out.
Where they're going, it's that freaking loud.
The way I see it, whenever you make the decision to go play out, you make the decision to open yourself up for other people's pleasures.
Mm-hmm. Like if you're going to do an arena show or something, hey, blow it out there, dude.
Yeah.
But if you're playing a bar and we got a table of people sitting there, I'd like to be able to talk to somebody.
A little bit.
Or hear myself. And we won't be disrespectful doing that during your set.
We're going to a concert Saturday.
Yeah.
They will not blow us out. We will all be able to talk. It's been the same show.
If we're far enough away from the stage, we can talk if we want to. We won't be disrespectful. But I guess that's what I'm saying. But I get it that the band's kind of like, hey, dude, we rock.
Yeah.
They don't care if we want to have a conversation over a beer.
Well,
and I don't know that maybe they shouldn't, Pudge.
And here's an ever-changing thing too that people don't take in consideration. That was some of the hardest thinking you ever had to do was the sound. So you come in and you set your sound, okay, and then you leave or not leave, but you go take a piss and you think everything's on cruise control.
Yeah.
Well, and then you take, I'm just saying your average size bar or whatever. Well, then you throw 75 more people in there.
Bingo.
Changes
Everything.
Start over.
Yep.
Because guess what? Now you got to bring it all up. And it doesn't sound like it did.
And
So now
it's hard to
Everything
adjust.
sounds a little flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was the thing. Like the stockroom, especially, like that's a big place.
You know what though, man? I will say this and disagree with me if you, but as a place to watch somebody play, I always thought that was a pretty good room.
Best in town.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good room, man.
Best in. My opinion, it's still the only place for a band.
I mean, don't you feel like the acoustics and everything there are really pretty good?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Low ceilings.
Yeah, it's better than Parks. Parks Edge has got to be a nightmare.
It's
That's got to be
loud.
hard, dude.
It's hard. I mean, it's
A lot of
it's
echoes.
a cave.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a big cave.
It's a big cave. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
the back of the Elks over there, man.
Horrible.
I mean, that's a tile floored room.
anything real hard surface like that with not wood hard
And I'm not saying I didn't have a good time in any of those places. Hell, I don't care. I love them all.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going to talk about like the sound, it's just so different. Like when you walk in a Stewart's Opera House over there, which is small.
main stage of
My
the Apple
God.
Festival, great sound.
Tremendous.
You know, whenever they put on that Friday night deal, I mean, they rock it.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, boy.
it's just an important piece. It's just so important. The sound. As you were a DJ,
Yeah. I got to share this.
I didn't realize you were a DJ, Fannin.
Yeah, I DJ'd for I don't know, a few years. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
First one there, last one leave.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is horrible. I'm on
That'll be a
P-Funk.
tough. Oh, P-Funk.
P-Funk got us both started.
Yep, P-Funk got us both started.
Okay.
Yep, and
Hey,
I don't remember how
real
the
quick.
conversation-
P-Funk.
Yeah.
P-Funk. Ryan Potter.
Yep.
He came and did my wedding. We had a little situation there. We won't talk about it, but he had a little situation, or we had a little situation. Potter came within like 3 weeks' notice and did my wedding. Then, and did a hell of a job. Then somebody asked me to use my system to DJ because I had it from playing music, and I called him, and he gave me 40,000 songs,
Yep.
same as he did you.
Yep.
You know how expensive
Yep.
that would have been to do what he did.
Oh, I can't imagine.
He gave us probably a $20,000 piece of equipment.
Library.
Yeah, exactly.
Of music.
Well, not only that, but man, he spent
Well, that's
so
kind of dude he was.
Seriously, that's what I meant by that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
well, and he would call me, like he would text me, "Hey, how's the show going? What's the crowd doing?"
Yeah.
Well,
So he was
switch it
helping
up.
you out.
Oh
man.
my God, yes, absolutely, yes.
great guy.
And he gave me one of the best pieces of advice because he DJ'd our wedding,
Okay.
and he's like, contracts. He's like, listen, we're friends, but friends sign contracts, and I'm like, what? And so I did it. His contract, as a matter of fact, he gave me a copy of his contract. That's what we used. And Brad Prophet and I did a wedding. We did several, but we did a wedding and here in town, and filled out the contract. Everything was lined out. Everything was good. We would typically show up Friday night, set up,
Me too. Yeah.
do sound.
Sometimes rehearsal.
Exactly. Yeah, we did rehearsal for that one. Saturday we showed up early just because we knew the folks and good friends and just hanging out, good time, right? And the bride comes up and goes, "Hey, I want you to play this and this and this." As I'm walking down the aisle, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" Yeah, I'm like, pull the contract out. I'm like, it's not in here. Like, I'm not prepared for this. This is like 30 minutes before she's walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
Figure it out. I mean, we figured it out, but it was. I mean,
It sucks.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you're right. You have to have a contract. That in my opinion, great money. Okay, if I tell you what, a young kid out there, anywhere, as long as you got a little bit of population, if you're 20 some years old and you don't know what to do, and you're halfway talented with music, not necessarily playing it, but just knowing what the crowd likes, and you're halfway gifted on a mic, okay, you could go out right now and make $60,000
Absolutely.
and work 3 days a week, okay, right now.
What about the cost of equipment and everything?
Very, very
to get
attainable
started?
now. It's like TV.
Well, hell, you could get one of those Bose things.
You can throw them in your trunk for $2,000.
You wouldn't even need a trailer anymore, would you?
No, you don't need a trailer. What you need really is a MacBook and that right there, and for $2,000 or $3,000, you could get in that world right now. And and with Spotify and downloads, and no more CDs, no more. Here's a jump drive with these songs on it I need to play.
Right.
I mean, dude, because it's very needed. Like,
Oh, yes.
you can't find them, and you know, every event.
That's funny because it seems like there's a lot of DJs, but yet, like when you need to book one,
That's what I was
they're
gonna say.
all booked. They're
That's
running
what I was saying.
karaoke somewhere.
Yep.
They're
How long
doing,
did
you
I
know-
disappear from the friend group?
Oh my God, you were working your rear end off.
12 years. And you, I mean,
You were playing music, and then you got into doing that, doing the wedding,
and it was every weekend. But you know, you could do it. There's some
it could be done.
sacrifice.
Man, no, that's a tough
You
gig,
lose your
dude.
friends. You
Yeah.
lose your weekends.
Yeah. Yep.
You're the first one there and the last one to leave. Like, people would say, well, so-and-so's, you know, half that. Okay, well, so-and-so's probably going to show up a half hour before your wedding set up. You're wanting me here on Friday.
Yep.
I'm the first one. You are the first one there pretty much.
Yep.
Okay. And you're the absolute last one to leave, because when the music stops, it's over.
Then you got to
Then
carry
you got to
everything
tear
back
down
out.
and
Yeah.
back up, and yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was a very needed. I always said it was your second call. You book the venue, and then you book the DJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yep.
I feel like that would be a kind of a lonely.
very.
The way you guys describe that
It is
seems
very-
like that would be
Well, that's-
very lonely.
And that's why I partnered up with Brad. You know, because
Just so there's somebody else there.
Yeah. Well, Brad and I worked really good together.
You could go pee.
Well, you could go pee, but the biggest thing is we were both good in our own right.
Yeah.
You know, there were certain, like at wedding receptions, there were certain games that I would do. There
Yeah.
were certain games that he would do.
Right.
Give both of us a break to just chill for a minute.
You didn't have to be on the mic the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Shout out. I'll tell you another good one. The GOAT, in my opinion, is Tommy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tommy's
Tommy
good.
Hill, man, that guy. And he's still doing it, man.
Well, people
or
under-
not. I don't know.
People forget about the 18, 20 years he did the pub every Friday.
Every Friday.
Well, and then he got into a Wednesday gig there for a while.
That was
didn't he?
Bart, wasn't it?
I don't know. Maybe it was.
I think he used Tommy's
He might have
equipment.
used Tommy's equipment. Yeah, something like that.
But man, you'd see Tommy's trailer up there all the time. And then he was also doing like school dances. He was doing weddings. I mean, that guy was
the
constant.
That was the only thing. I don't know. Did P Funk give you that advice? He told me, he said, don't do schools.
No, he was kind of. You know what, man? As soon as I did that DJing deal, he died.
Really?
I mean, like within 3 months.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he was gone. He died during the fair, right?
Yep.
In like July, third week of July, and I mean, dude, that wedding was like a May or June wedding that I had to DJ, and then he died, because I always meant to try to help do something for him, not like money or anything, but like try to help him in somewhere, fill in for him if I could, if he because he was great about that,
Yeah.
and. Yeah, that sucks, man. He was a good dude.
He was a real
would have done a lot for Oak Hill's community
Oh, my gosh, yes.
if he was still.
Well,
here.
I mean, I think he did, man.
He did.
Like that guy.
Absolutely.
He was closer to my age than you guys, and like
Yeah.
I knew that dude back,
in high school.
before all the hanging out and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And man, he was just
And then Tommy's
solid individual.
Tommy's been a help to a lot of the
Tommy's.
DJs.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy's one. I mean, he's great. Man.
They are on. I've always said that too about Bart. Bart had a hand in anybody from here that has ever played in a public stage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not talking aesthetics. I'm talking
Right. Yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah.
bars and parties and stuff
Yeah,
and
yeah.
weddings and events. Anybody that's ever
Played paid gigs.
played paid gigs, Bart Wiseman has touched in some way or fashion.
I would agree.
Tommy and P Funk were that of that DJ world, and listen, I could talk about this shit all day long because I was in it so deep, but like it was funny to watch that revolution because DJs killed bands.
Mm-hmm.
Now bands came back and started to kill DJs and acoustic solo performances.
Sure.
COVID killed them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now everybody gets along.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
You don't
would
see
have been
DJs
easy.
like
Yeah,
that.
when you're talking about P Funk and you're talking about Tommy, the thing is this: it would be very easy to get competitive.
Oh,
and
yeah,
when
yeah.
Kyle or Pudge comes up to you, asks you about what you're doing, there's a couple roads they could have taken, right?
Exactly.
You know, but what they did was say, "Yeah, man, here, this is what I do. This probably could help you out," instead of being an asshole.
And,
you
that-
know.
and you know what's crazy is there was still enough for everybody to. I mean,
Yeah, nobody starved to death.
I
dude.
promise you right now, if Gibson Gilbs is sitting around at 20 years old with his thumb up his ass,
Yeah.
I already know that he's capable of working a mic.
Yep, there you go.
Dude, I got to share this. That's why I started laughing.
I'm gonna tell his ass to get out there and hustle DJs.
Yes, he kid. That kid. So Chad, I think I told Pudge this story. So Gib wrestled.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this season, and he was an absolute ball. And we was I don't remember. I think we was at Alexander maybe, and I don't remember. We was at one of the tournaments.
Yeah.
He wrestled like 4 times, and it was either the 3rd or 4th match. He was getting winded, and I mean he was doing great. And this kid walked out, and I could just see it in his eyes. You know, he was a lot of wrestling's mental. You know,
Oh,
and
heck yeah.
he seen that kid, so he wrestled good, fought hard, come off the mat, and I said, "Hey man," I said, "Don't let these guys get in your head like that." He just turned and looked at me and grinned. He goes, "I've been singing on the Jackson County Apple Festival stage since I was 6. Do you think that kid made me nervous?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
didn't make me nervous."
That's awesome. What a great response. What a great response.
Hey, I will say, buddy, he don't 10,000, it don't matter. He'll jump up there. He don't get it.
Yeah, but good for him.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Hey, dude, that is a gift.
Well,
Yes. That is a gift.
I think it's a trait, or I think it's a asset. Like
It's an
Oh
asset,
my
yes.
God, are you kidding me,
Yeah,
man?
I know people that literally shit down their leg.
Hey, dude, my 2 kids, which, I mean, it sounds funny. I've been one, hey, man.
You're right. Yeah, you're
Throw
good.
me up there, bud. But
Yep.
both of my kids are more like my wife.
Yeah.
Now, Helena is a little more outgoing, but like they get bad nervous, dude. Like even if they're going to like a choir, the choir concert,
Well,
and they're
Abel,
out
come
there.
on this.
No,
Yeah.
dude. Like it is and I mean, you know, that's just the way they are. That's their constitution. That's fine.
Yeah,
But like to me, I look at that like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, I get
you
it.
got to get comfortable. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing if you're not meant to.
No, it isn't. But what I would say is when you see one that's not afraid to do that, I feel like that is a gift.
It'll serve him better than it would if he wasn't.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Your
man.
boys, man, Mason. We talked about that on the show last time. Man, that guy, he's the life of the party now. And he used to, as soon as you'd open the door, until he was 3.
No, it was later than that. Man, if we walked in anywhere with double doors,
Right.
he would just melt down, not go in.
Really?
Would
Oh,
not.
scream at top of it. Just
It
lose
was
it.
bad.
What bothered him about that?
Combination
The
of things,
size of the
I think.
place?
The size of the place, fear of the unknown.
Okay.
Like several years ago, we went to Pigeon Forge with brother and family and everything.
sure.
And brother's like, "Hey, let's go to Hatfield McCoy's."
Yeah.
And man, we like to never coerced him just to go inside. Then we got inside, and you know how that show, the dinner show, they've got the fake guns. They fired a gun one time, and he was done, absolutely done.
Maybe he was just afraid of Aaron.
Uncle Aaron got him.
I guarantee. No, I remember Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
I remember Aaron grabbed him and stood back in the back and tried to calm him down, and there was no calming that kid down. He could cry nonstop until the moment you walked out of the building, he was good.
Fine.
And now he'd be pretending he was one of them.
Exactly. Now,
Well, it's amazing how.
Complete flip.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys can say this as dads. Isn't it amazing how your kids change year over year? And it might be from, who knows, like certain events that happen or whatever, but man, they change.
Well, I remember one time you took him off third base and left the game. Mm-hmm. And now look at it. Now he has competed and finished 3 wrestling seasons?
Football.
Football.
Well, he's done it all.
He's done it all now, and I mean, but that made him that nervous back in. He's a totally different kid.
Totally different kid.
You should put him back in baseball and see if he likes it now.
We talked about it and we tried to get him to, but he just doesn't enjoy baseball.
Well, and I'll tell you what, man, I don't have a lot of push in me on that kind of stuff.
Hey, guys, let's pay some bills here. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Kelly Wiley Group of Keller Williams Excel Realty. I tell you, we all know Kelly, and we all know the group down at Kelly Wiley Realty, and I'm telling you, you won't find a better class of people to deal with. A verifiable fact, something that I found very interesting. They are the #1 real estate agency in Southern Ohio, and it doesn't shock me. I tell you, there's 180 different items that a home buyer and a home seller must do whenever you buy or sell a house. The Kelly Wiley team is great at all of them. They will help you out from start to finish. They have some of the most up-to-date processes and systems that you can possibly dream of. You're going to love the whole entire experience. So if I were you, I would give those guys a call at 740-577-3795. That's 740-577-3795. Or you can also look at all of their inventory at kellywileygroup.com. Yeah, but see, his what I'm saying is encourage him to do it one more year.
Try it
now that he's out of his funk.
Yeah.
Well, he's convinced that he wants to really focus on 4-H this year.
That's good.
So that to me, that's our spring-summer project. We'll be getting animals here in a couple weeks. Yeah. So,
hey, speaking of
animals,
I
was going to say, let's have a podcast.
We've just been sitting here visiting.
Let's talk about why
we brought this gentleman in here. Other than he's our buddy, I mean, hell, we've had this was probably the best kind of podcast.
Yeah,
but I mean,
except for Full Send Dad.
Full send
guy,
full send.
But now you're opening Chop Local. CHOP
LOCAL.
Chop.
Is that
Local.
a franchise or is that you?
Chop Local is so they market themselves as an online Etsy for farmers.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So it's
okay.
It was founded by a farmer and ag communications major, I guess, in Iowa, and so they started it. Jared's one of the founders. He started shipping, so he's a turkey farmer in Iowa. I don't know, 2016, 2017, he started shipping his own turkeys wherever, nationwide. And then in COVID, he teamed up with the other girl's name's Katie. They founded Chop Local. And guys, I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing for me is the education part of it. Man, it was huge because I don't know anything about shipping meat. I didn't even know where to start.
No.
Like, what do you, like?
I mean, you can raise the cattle.
Yeah.
but beyond that, you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I mean, it was a huge, almost a Mason effect. It was like, I was nervous over it. So worked heavily with them for the last 3 or 4 months. There's been a lot of hurdles to jump through, getting licensed through the Ohio Department of Agriculture to be able to store the meat legally and be able to ship it.
FDA?
No. So for this, Ohio Department of Ag basically permits me to store the meat and to be able to ship it.
So to rewind, you're going to raise meat.
Yep.
And you are going to basically go with an online beef store.
Correct.
Through Chop Local.
Yep.
And yours is called the Lakewood or Lakeside.
Lazy Creek.
Lazy Creek.
So.
No. All right.
Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you, but there's a gap in the process there. Who butchers the meat?
So right now we're working with a couple different local butchers.
Okay.
USDA inspected. So the difference there is some processors are only state inspected, which restricts me to only being able to sell that meat.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it on this.
Yeah, well, I can do it on this.
You just couldn't ship it outside of Ohio.
Exactly, I can't ship it outside of Ohio.
Okay.
So whether or not I can actually call bullshit on this, but man, I've had tons of friends and colleagues and stuff. One in particular lives in Florida. He said, "Hey, man, the moment you can ship to Florida, let me know, and I'll be a customer." Well, guess what? I ship to Florida now.
He still hasn't bought.
Well, no. So we're going to launch.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke. We're all in sales in some fashion.
Yeah.
We know how that goes.
The store's going to launch officially tomorrow. So Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I told you that in the text message.
You just said it wasn't live.
Yeah. It'll officially launch tomorrow. Ashley has done a very good job of building a Facebook page to help promote that.
Yeah.
The Facebook page has existed for a while. We just haven't
Pushed it.
pushed
Yeah,
it.
why
at all.
would you if you don't have any products?
Exactly.
The only thing you could have been doing was gaining an audience.
We talked about that, and man, I've gotten more into social media algorithms and
Yeah.
advertising and just everything more in the last 6 months than I ever dreamed I would.
Yeah.
What we was afraid to do was gain the audience because we wasn't ready to ship yet.
You weren't ready yet. Yeah.
Exactly. So we gain the audience, and the last thing we want is Pudge to get on there and be like, "Oh, this is really cool." Well, shit, I can't buy anything.
Yeah.
But this is a good idea. Who else can ship to me?
Right.
Didn't want to lose that.
How
A
many?
key phrase in that situation: sold out.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you something though, Kyle Lake. How much beef do you have to produce to play in this game? I mean, like, because you've been doing it for a long time, but like, what? Obviously, you've probably had to ramp it up. I mean, what were you guys doing with the beef before?
So we've been extremely blessed. So to back up a little bit, 2017, 2018, Ashley and I just had, I don't know, it was just a random conversation. Hey, instead of buying a beef somewhere, why don't we just raise our own? We're doing it already.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I thought, well, you know what? If I'm going to raise one, I might as well raise three, and maybe I can sell a couple.
Right.
So that was 2018, and then consistently grew it, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. It was around this time of the year. I mean, COVID was really just starting to become a thing.
Right.
I think that year I had 6. I can't remember. And I just put a post on Facebook, and I said, "Hey, got some beef for sale if anyone wants any."
Oh.
And it was literally like 40 minutes, and then I had
All
to
of
take it
them
down.
sold. Yeah.
They all sold, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
So ever since then, been getting more serious about it, more focused on it.
You've been educating yourself.
Huge education, huge. I mean,
what goes into scaling a cattle business, man?
Fence and land.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
No.
it's just, I mean,
capital.
Yeah, money.
Oh, yeah.
Capital.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Capital. So that's one of my, and this is no bash on anyone whatsoever, but again, going back to my grandpa, we farm without the bank.
Right.
So we own it.
Sure.
The feed that's in the bins paid for, the cattle that's in the barns paid for.
Right.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with
But you are. I mean, to give you a little bit, you are big enough to take advantage of some government programs.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started doing that in 2018. Just found out last week that I got another huge opportunity. Was just awarded it. So
are you telling me, I mean, I think this is important to the story. Is a core principle with you is staying debt free
yes,
as far as debt service from a financial institution?
yes. Well, because so much of this is pretty tight margins to
Sure,
begin with.
yeah.
So you start giving up 3, 4, 5, 6% of that in interest.
That tough to succeed.
Exactly.
That's a
Well,
lot. It's a big chunk of eligible margins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, guys, I don't want to be leveraged to the point of, hey, I've got to sell this beef for whatever X dollars because I've got a line of credit payment due.
Sure.
Well,
And again, I'm not bashing anyone for doing that. It's just a personal decision.
but see, they've taken that kind of out. There has to be a direct formula whenever they come up with the per pound price.
There is not.
Well, and I'm sure there's 1,000 different ones.
No,
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why that number changes, though, isn't it? Is because, like, let's say that you were banking, your asset with the bank, and they were holding your, a lien, and you were using a line of credit, and they charged you 9%, whatever it would be to do it. It wouldn't, if you spread that out over the common price of hamburger. Doesn't it kind of just, I mean, you can absorb it, and that's why meat prices fluctuate.
correct. That's a lot of it. Right now, I don't know how much you guys have really paid attention, but right now the cattle market is in a very volatile situation.
Yeah, how's it doing?
I mean, depending on who you talk to is why it is. There's the wildfires going across the panhandle of Texas. Sure. Just read an article. We're up to like 1 million acres burnt. I don't know how many head of cattle. And on top of that, for me personally, I think the biggest thing that no one really wants to talk about is back during COVID. So you take 2021 and 22, everyone's seen this market opportunity to sell beef. So what that correlated to was no one was retaining female cattle to breed.
Right.
So our inventories are down. And the thing that worries me, I mean, part of the reason I want
you're a mosquito away.
Right. Exactly. I mean,
well, but the thing is, man, the power of being liquid as opposed to having debt service is huge.
Yeah, but see, his debt service is in the field.
Oh yeah. I mean, anything can happen to that.
But
it's less risky than the guy that's got, that's line of credit is leveraged.
Well, and here's the other thing, guys. I have a true passion for raising cattle.
Yeah.
And raising quality cattle.
You've done it all your life.
Done it all my life. And in this area, the number one marketing strategy for marketing your cattle is to load them on a trailer and take them to Gallipolis or Hillsborough.
Right.
So,
and hope for the best.
Those guys are making the gain, right?
Right. Well,
you don't really control the
you
market.
have no control.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just do it because it's Wednesday.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, and guys, I tried. I mean, Dad and I spent years trying to understand that market. And okay, do we sell in October or do we sell in February? Right.
Yeah.
And what is our cost per gain to hold those from October to February? And is it worth it? Right. Well, it depends. What's going to happen.
What feed prices do?
What did feed prices do?
Hay
Where's
do,
demand?
A lot
Where's
of
fuel?
uncontrollables, man.
There's so many. So I got into this direct consumer marketing sort of on accident. And once I got into it, I just latched onto it. And again, it's not that I'm trying to capitalize on the market without gouging the market. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. It does.
So
You're trying to provide a quality product.
Exactly. I can produce a consistent quality product at a consistent price.
Right.
I don't.
How are you doing that?
So controlling feed inputs is the.
Let's talk about feed. So what are you? So you get these calves at 3 weights, 3 4s?
No, I'm complete conception to consumption.
Okay, so your cow calf operation on premise.
Yep.
And you are taking the mama cows, or are you taking a group of yearlings? What are you taking here? Where does this cow get butchered at? And in that time period, what are you feeding it?
So we'll take we're calving right now. So I've had 4 this week. So we'll calve now until realistically probably the end of April.
May, yeah.
May. We will wean in October.
It'll be 6 months old.
Yep.
You'll wean them.
180, 200 days. A lot of that depends on the weather.
Mm-hmm.
We'll wean them and then.
Which just means separate.
Yep.
That way they're done living off mom's milk.
Yep.
And they have to go sustain from that day forward.
Yep. They're on their own.
They are on their own. And that's an interesting, I learned about that in the cowboy world. I mean, that's an interesting period.
It is. And we,
they have good fence.
Well, a couple of years ago, we did something on accident. I called the cows in and was by myself and completely got all of our calves separated. And then I was like, oh, shit, now what am I going to do? Didn't have a barn ready, didn't have anything ready. And I'm like, but we're separated. So there's this process called fence line weaning, to where you allow the cows to see the calves and to be able to touch like nose to nose, but they can't nurse. Okay. So I just kind of laughed in the back of my head and said, oh, we're going to try this fence line weaning thing. And that's been 6 years ago probably. And
Still doing it.
I've done it intentionally since.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference.
Bud, you might as well just drive a car through your fence.
Yeah. We have a
you take a big pissed off mama cow.
Yeah.
Woo. It's fun.
How many head do you have now?
Right now we've got 43 mama cows.
Getting ready to be 35 calves.
Yeah, 35 on feed and then a couple bulls.
So that calf hits the ground.
Calf hits the ground.
Well, you wait 6 months, then you throw that thing over and you wean it off of mom.
Yep.
Okay. So whenever you go wean that thing off of mom, what are you feeding that calf? And what did you feed mom while she was calving?
So like right now, so we put a lot of emphasis on all natural forage. So
Hay.
So we spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort in our
Who gets the hay? Where you
pasture
get the hay?
ground. Where do we get it?
Yeah.
Right there on the farm.
You grow your own.
Yep, we grow our own.
So you know what's input in that grass.
Yep.
Anything crazy?
No, orchard grass.
I mean, you have to be
fescue.
thinking like Roundup.
No, I don't use any.
I know, but I mean, if you can take Roundup and spray a field and 48 hours later that entire vegetation is brown and dead, I don't see how we should digest it.
Yeah, so I got into that several years ago. I wanted to spray our pasture fields. We fight iron weeds like crazy in our pasture fields.
Okay.
So I wanted to use.
God, I've been wanting to have this conversation on the pod for years.
Good.
Yes, I have.
So I wanted to use a 2,4-D product.
Okay,
So
I've used 2,4-D.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll admit I use 2,4-D on my fence lines. It's a wonderful product.
It'll kill it.
It'll kill the broadleaves and the legumes, but it won't kill the grass.
You're right.
So that's why I wanted to use it on the pasture fields. But then I got to reading and researching it, and it's like, well, if you spray that on your pasture fields, and then depending on what product you use, there's a 7 to 21 day hold time. But still, if you turn the cattle out, they graze that, and then you spread the manure. If I take the manure from those cattle, which we collect and store, and then we spread that on our hay ground. If you spread that manure on my hay ground, which is where I'm growing clover, there's so much residual in that manure that it'll kill the clover. And I went exactly where you went. I'm like, well, number one, I don't want to kill the clover that I'm spending a shit ton of money to get in the ground. Number two, I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
So
think of that. It kills down to the root through the dirt, Mother Nature.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. The most powerful thing on the planet.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes you can't kill them if you try,
Exactly.
And by God, that Roundup and 2,4-D will absolutely devastate. I mean, dude,
Yes.
Take her down to the dirt. I'm talking break up soil fibers. Like you take hard, good dirt, and you spray that, and within a month, that dirt is just eroded. Yep. There's no nutrients left in that dirt whatsoever to bind it together. No root systems, nothing. And I've always thought, like, how can we digest? Like, how are we putting that in our body?
I don't think we should.
There's no way we should.
Yeah, that's my opinion. So we do a combination of dry hay and haylage, which is wet hay that we wrap in plastic and allow it to ferment.
Okay.
So it's sort of like a silage, if you're familiar with that at all.
Whenever you ferment hay like that, what is it doing compared to dry hay?
So
there's moisture in it.
There's moisture in it, but the biggest thing you're doing is you're preserving the
nutrients,
most amount of nutrients you can,
because you're keeping it green.
Green, yes, but the biggest thing is you lose so much nutrients in dry hay through just natural evaporation.
To evaporate, right?
Yeah. So we're baling our haylage at 50 to 60% moisture. So depending on the time of the year, it's very heavy.
Heavy.
Yes. I mean, we're taking.
We'll throw that.
Well, they're probably round bales of that.
Round.
Right?
Yeah, they're round bales. Everything we do is round.
Now there are. Yeah, you do green square bales. You know it too.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Do you do any of those? Like, could you ferment green square bales?
They do big, like the 3x4x8s.
Yeah. The out west bales.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They do.
You ever seen hay bales out west, Chad?
No.
They'll be the size. They'll be 8x8s.
Wow.
4x8s.
4x8s. Yeah.
4x4x8s.
Yeah, you don't pick them up by hand, but they'll be stacked on pallets. And you'll go by farms, and there'll just be piles of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would love to do that around here. It's just our weather's not conducive for it. So if you know how the weather is, if we bale today, so like right now with us, if we bale today and it rains with our round bales, the round bales are going to shed the water. That's what they're designed to do.
Yeah.
If we had a square baler and it rains, and then it's junk.
It's junk. Yeah. So
it may not be junk, but
pretty much
you're detrimenting a lot of the nutrient content in it.
So these calves then and the moms can you tell me? Okay, just tell me honestly. Are they 100% grass fed? Are you graining these things out a little bit, or
they are not 100% grass fed?
Okay. So that's your foliage. That's your foliage diet. How much of their diet is foliage?
So
70?
Foliage or forage.
Forage.
So right now they're on the calves, the feeder calves that are in the barn preparing for harvest. They're on free choice hay right now. So
As much hay as they want.
As much as they want. I've got a group at the house. So all the calves, when we wean in October, all the calves come to my house. I want at least 60 days. I bucket feed or hand feed those calves every day myself.
What? What are you bucket feeding?
We're doing a combination of corn and soybean meal. So
soybean meal.
Mm-hmm.
Meal.
Yeah.
Yep. Corn and soy. Okay, so they're getting fat, starch,
protein.
And protein.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're feeding roughly right now, the calves that are in the barn behind my house are around 750, 800 pounds. So they're on about a 16% protein diet.
And they're how old? Year?
Yeah, they're yearlings.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were last year's calves.
Yep.
And they're getting ready to go butcher.
Yep.
So
they'll go this fall. So I don't,
So you'll have them on all you can eat hay and a pound a scoop or a scoop a pound.
Depending on where they're at in their stage, they're going to be between 1.5% and 2% of body weight of corn and soybean meal. Okay. So as those cattle get older, like I said, right now they're 700 to 800 pounds. I've got them on 16% protein. As they get older, we're going to back that protein down just because we're not trying to build the skeletal frame and the muscle. We're just trying to keep them healthy.
Hey, guys, we got to pay the bills. Let's talk about AP Prep and how you look them up at apprep.info. You go in there. If you got a child and they need performance training, that's one of the things that they offer. And it's simple. Their performance training, it drives their athletes to seize full genetic potential. And first of all, they're going to assess your kids' overall balance, their mobility, their hand-eye coordination, their foot speed, understand all their body mechanics, their output, their strength, everything. Look them up, apprep.info. All the info's there. You'll see it. Then they got a boxing class for the adults. It's $10, or you can join by the month. These workouts, you can burn up to 1,000 calories an hour. So, guys, you can't beat it. Look it up. I know it's a drive over there. It's a good time for you and your kid. You'll love it. Do some good bonding time. apprep.info. Look them up. Do you think there's a benefit to building like a big muscular cow?
No.
Like if you and I were eating it, I mean, hey, we were just talking about taking care of ourselves. It's all about what we eat, a lot of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So would there be any So if you're feeding them 16% protein at what? And I'm not arguing or anything with you. I'm asking. I know my tone sounds like I'm questioning, but how can you, or like how would you know how much fat is on that? Like how would you know that cow's BMI?
Lots and lots and lots of practice.
Yeah, I know you can know that.
Yeah. So for me, what I look at is simply back fat. And you can look at their belly fat too.
But you're talking about that big massive that comes off the rear hips, that like big old hawk of fat right there.
Yep. We're
and
looking
down
at
their
that
spine.
And down the spine. So think of back. So when you're eating a ribeye and you see that fat seam down the side, that is going to be your back fat.
Yeah. That's that top rim of back fat.
Yep. So
ribs.
We don't want a lot of back fat. You want some, but you don't want a lot. Like right now, I mean, you can go look at the calves that are in my barn now. There's 13 in that barn. There's not a lot of back fat because I'm building frame. I want to build frame so that in 4 months I can develop that muscle that's already hanging on the frame. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Right now, I'm not trying to develop.
And how do you do that?
Feed.
Just the what you're feeding.
Well, we're backing down the protein.
Then what are they going to weigh when you take them to market?
Our goal is my goal is to hang an 800, 850 pound carcass, which is going to put you in that, depending on 1350.
Okay.
And again, it goes back to, until this point.
So you're going to put 550 pounds on. Mm-hmm. Or more.
Or more. Yes. So
on how many head?
Right now there's 35. So
Lord, your feed bill's insane.
That's what I'm talking about.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean,
we spend $1,000 a week.
We're right now we're feeding roughly, and again it's early in the stages. Right now we're going through roughly 7 ton a month, and
that's not bad. Buying a bulk like that.
It's about 380 a ton.
Yeah. 380.
And we'll maintain that. It'll
Then you got to store that.
Yeah, so it's the facility, it's the equipment, it's everything that goes in with it. It's not
to mention feed it.
Not to mention feed it.
How long did it take you to build that up, man?
You're 36 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come see me in the other 20. I mean, you're never done. I mean, we constantly step back and look and say, I really want to do this. And the biggest thing for us has been setting goals for yourself.
Sure.
So next year, hey, I want to do this. Next year, I want to do that. Next year, I want to do this.
And it's probably by year, isn't it?
It is.
I mean,
It sounds like you've got a really good grasp though on like what is going in your cow.
Yeah. And I get I get extremely nervous. I wanted to share this.
I would
story.
eat that.
I'd
eat a lot worse. You know, I'm just saying, a lot worse.
yeah.
So I met a nutritionist last year. So Ashley and I both are traveling different industry seminars, whatever we can get a hold of. Last year we did a thing at Hyatt States called B509. So up there, you'll go up there on a Saturday. They teach you how to visually grade animals, what you're looking for, genetics, feed, So they'll have a group of cattle, and they do a fake auction, right? Mm-hmm. So and they'll say, hey, so every group has to buy a cow, right? And you literally walk from that room into the slaughter room, and you knock that cow on the head, string it to the ceiling, split it open, and you look at what you just bought. And then the following Saturday, you go up there and you do what's called fabricate that carcass. So you literally take that carcass down, package it. You weigh your ribeyes, you weigh your New York strips, your T-bones, whatever you're doing, and your chucks and whatever. And that was the second time I'd done it. But for Ashley, it was a huge eye opener, just so far as, okay, we're not a big roast family, right? It's just us personally. But when we got up there and she got to understanding it, it's like, okay, well, I can try this. And then we started cooking some, and she's like, well, this is pretty good. But through that, met a nutritionist, and he introduced me to, which I knew these things existed, but we started talking very heavily on what's called ionophores. So ionophores is, it's a man-made supplement to increase the feed efficiency in ruminant animals, in cattle, right? So I'm looking at it from an aspect of, okay, maybe can I shorten the time frame up or feed less cattle? I'm just trying to find better ways, more ways of being more efficient.
Be more efficient, yeah.
Right. Sure. So then we start going back to our core values and say, okay, is this all natural? So USDA, FDA, FSIS, food safety inspection standards, they're the ones that regulate all this. So I start going through all my protocols and everything, and it's okay. Ionophore. So in my protocol, we don't give antibiotics. Now, admittedly, if there's a cow sick, I give it an antibiotic, but I'm not just throwing antibiotics at it just in case, like particularly at weaning.
There's a cocktail, okay, Chad, and you'll agree with me. I've seen guys take horses and a horse just looked poor. Okay, just imagine just very tired, very very bony, very just not thick skin, hair's missing. Hair coat will tell you a lot.
Right. And
there's a cocktail that you can juice up here in a syringe and give these things, and I'm telling you, within 48 hours that you've got a different animal.
Yep.
Okay.
And they're also resistant to every other antibiotic known to man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they get really sick and you got a problem.
So what he's saying is hey, he's not, and again, there's people that believe in him. Okay. And I'm not saying, hey, in the show horse world, I'm a believer of it. Okay. Right. You need that horse at tip top shape all the time. So, but there's people that'll just throw whatever in these things, just all the time.
But the key difference is you're not eating that horse.
You're not. Yeah. It's more of an athletic stance than it is a consumption stance.
Yeah. So if we do have to give antibiotics for whatever reason, I mean, 2 years ago we had a horrendous outbreak of pink eye.
I was just getting ready to say pink eye's number one.
Pink eye is the number one. Yeah. And then if you don't get it stopped, it'll spread through the herd and it's nonstop. So there was a couple years ago
Strangles is like that too. Do they get strangles?
Not that I know.
Oh man, one horse gets in a barn and it's over.
Yeah.
Snot just rolls out of the mouth.
Yeah. And we've been very fortunate.
How'd you treat that pink eye? Not 10 reps. Sorry.
Draxon.
In the water.
No, it's shots.
In the shots. Okay.
Yeah. Draxon. I mean, it's a very strong, very potent antibiotic. We treated and cured every case we had. We stopped the spread, and we just marketed that beef separately.
Okay.
Fortunately, I'd have to go back and look. Like I said, that's been 2 years ago. I'm wanting to say we treated those calves. They were still in the pasture, if that tells you anything. So they were, 3-4 months old.
That's when they're going to get it. Typically, the mama cows don't get it. It's the
Yeah.
calves that get it.
The calves get it.
It's devastating. What's another thing they get? There's a couple things. You got to watch them
Acidosis.
getting stressed out.
Yeah, so we're probably a lot different than most. I've been to other ranches, other farms that you walk out in the pasture field and the cows run the other way, or they look at you like they just want to run through you. I can take you guys out in our pasture field, and our cattle will come running up to you like dogs.
Yeah.
They're very domesticated. They're used to. They know my Jeep. They know the side by side. They know the 4-wheelers.
Right. They know when you're coming.
They know when you're coming. They know what we're doing. Especially, we've seen a huge change in retaining our own heifers and breeding those heifers. That calf is born on the farm. They know us. They know the routine.
Good-minded.
Very good mind. Very solid.
Because you'll probably get rid of a crazy mama before you'll keep
I got rid of 2.
Yeah.
This last year. I mean, they were both bred, and I got rid of them because I just one.
There's too many of them out there to keep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Get rid of 'em.
there was one we had to pull a calf last year. The calf was breech, and it was a heifer that I had retained 10 years ago. I mean, she was an older cow, but she was good. I pulled her calf. Everything was fine. Went back a couple hours later to check on her, and calf was up nursing. Everything was good. I went to open the gate, and I thought she broke all 4 of my fingers. I mean, it was like I pulled that calf out of her, and she went nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. So
Yeah.
this fall, she went to butcher.
Yeah, there's crazy ones, man. I mean, I've had them. I've ran over one on my horse before. They've ran over me. That's what I did, was chase them. I mean, but what we did was I thought was very stressful on a cow, because cows aren't meant to sprint.
like with this business, and forgive my ignorance, but you're looking now to you've partnered with this group, or you're going online. Is that how you start? Like, how do you scale it on the farm? Like, does that mean adding more stock?
Yeah, so that's
Or
if you think so. We're calving right now, right?
Okay,
and
yeah.
we'll start breeding those cows again into May. So just from May, from the time I turn that bull in, we're looking at round number 6, 30 months before that calf is ready to harvest.
okay,
Does that make sense? So
Sure.
So we're projecting 3 years down the road.
okay.
What we're doing this year,
30
is,
months
So the ones that are born now, the ones that are thrown now,
are
are 3 years away.
Well, the ones that are on the ground now are about 2 years away.
2 years away.
he's saying from conception,
okay,
yeah, from conception.
because he has to plan his conceptions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that's another thing we got into. Years ago, we had 2 different herds. So we had a herd that calved in March, like now, and then we had another herd that would calve in September.
Okay.
And we,
Winter them.
well, I mean, it worked.
Mama's met winter them.
Yeah, Mama's winter, and we would give them extra supplement. Now the haylage and the wrapped hay would be more than enough. We wasn't doing that at the time, but we didn't feel that for the way we were marketing at Hillsboro and Gallipolis or whatever to sell barns, it was better to have those larger groups. So we bumped them together. Well, I spent the last 12 months trying to figure out how I can reverse that. Okay, so what's crazy is you think about reversing it, no big deal. But so my cows are calving right now. We're going to rebreed them in May.
Okay.
Okay, so they'll calve in March. If I want to go to a fall herd, I have to hold that cow until November, not breed her until November, and she won't
Just
have a
eat
calf. Bingo. It's revenue. So then, I'm fighting this constant battle of, okay, do we buy cows? And if we do, what's that look like? What kind of genetics are we looking for? What are we trying to obtain here? Do we take our retained heifers and just hold them over a little longer? What do we do? quite frankly, haven't figured out the answer yet. Right now, we're just on a strong path of retaining our own heifers. We've bought some. Genetics is the biggest thing I'm pushing for.
Do you think maybe you should just I know you have to pay attention to that, but don't you think you'd be better off? I'm just talking two guys business stuff, but wouldn't you be better off just to kind of line that out and say, okay, no, here's what I'm going to have, and work your plan on, you know what I'm saying? Like rather than trying, like I think you'll go nuts if you constantly try to play the game of figuring it out. I think you need to figure out a plan and work the plan.
Well, and that's, you're not wrong at all, but at the same time,
yeah, it might be. I don't know.
No, I'm a farmer. What I'm worried about is running out of inventory.
Yeah,
but can't you just say so that's not your problem. Your problem is how do you retain the customer?
By not running out of inventory. In my opinion,
maybe, but is at that time do you build? I mean, we've noticed this in the podcast, and not that we're doing the same thing at all, but like, is there anything wrong with like saying, "Hey guys, thanks for a great season. Our next batch." I mean, you're wanting them to buy a large sum of meat.
I did that that in and of itself was our business model for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So we would harvest all of our calves, and guys, I'm telling you, last year was a absolute kick in the nuts. We harvested 23 in 40 days.
Ooh.
And that is nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I've done up to this point is I deliver all of the beef. And I've been extremely blessed to through the power of word of mouth and referrals or customers. I'm selling to doctors in Cincinnati.
Sure.
Which is great, and I'm thankful for that, but at the same time, coordinating those butcher appointments, figuring out how he wants it cut.
Cold storage.
I mean, everything that plays into it. So that's, midway through this last harvest, I was like, wait a minute, this is fine, but by elements of scale, if I'm going to get bigger, we've got to do something a little better.
Right. Well, and I think that, and I'm just sitting here listening, so tell me if I'm listening wrong. It seems that you also, like, okay, obviously, to scale, you could go out and buy a bunch of heifers, right? Mm-hmm. Or you could do that. But it sounds to me like your core principles are more in line, like, hey, I want these things naturally fed. I want them grass fed. I want them done like this. I want to ensure quality. Well, so scaling can bump up against that.
That's exactly.
So it's like, all right, what are my core values to our business? How are we going to scale this? But your core values are going to keep you at a certain pace.
Exactly.
No?
Yeah.
Or,
no, that's exactly what I'm bumping up against because so to Pudge's point earlier, we've got all of this money in feed.
Right.
So we're buying corn at, of course, corn's cheap right now, but we're buying corn roughly 500 to 600 bushel at a time.
Storage.
Right now I'm sitting on 1,500 bushel.
Yeah.
The supplements, I've got 2 or 3 ton of supplements that I'm sitting on at 7 and some change.
Yeah.
700 and a ton.
Yeah.
So you take all that money that's just sitting there. Yes, I need it. Okay. And then it's okay. Let's go buy some replacement heifers. Okay. Where can I find those?
Then that money goes up.
Yeah,
that spend goes up.
Yeah. So I bought replacement heifers 3 years ago. And they were roughly $1,700 a piece.
Sure.
Okay. Last year, this past fall, that same group was running $2,700.
Wild fluctuation, man.
Wild fluctuation. So, yes, we need it. That $1,000, we're looking to amortize that animal over 10 years, over 10 harvests, 10 calves.
Sure.
It's an extra $100.
Yeah.
What does that look like when we're trying to figure out how much a pound of hamburger is going to cost you next year?
It's really unpredictable, isn't it?
It is. And so you just try to control what you can.
Right. So like, are you in a phase, like when you're growing, explain this to me. When you're growing, does that mean you one of the pieces to that growth is, yes, we are buying a certain amount of heifers every year while we're growing. Then, they're going to come in, they'll be at our farm for, 10 harvests. And is that how we grow? Is that where it starts?
So what I have always done, the rule of thumb in this industry is 10% retention of some sort. Either you're going to retain 10% of your herd, or you're going to buy 10% of your herd in replacement heifers.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yes.
Going back to that 10-year rule.
Yes. Okay. I got you.
Okay. So that's what I've done. Keep 10, 15%, whatever.
Yeah.
This year we're looking, okay, do we keep 20, 25? Do we have the genetics to keep 20, 25?
And that's what you got to be watching.
Bingo. Okay. So at that point, I'm right now.
Because you're saving money if you're keeping them.
Well, am I? Because
I don't know.
You got to eat the feed for a minute.
well, not only that, but if I look at it as what is that heifer worth if I feed it out and sell it to you as freezer beef?
Okay.
That's the balancing scale that I'm trying to
because
figure
there's
out.
still a market for that heifer.
Exactly. Well, and guys, realistically, I can sell you a beef and you won't know if it's steer or heifer.
Well, hell no.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I'll know because I know which one's more feed efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, when you taste the steaks, nobody's like, oh, well, that's...
Can you tell now?
No.
You can't?
I mean, there's sometimes just because, not always, but a lot of times your heifers will be just slightly smaller frames, so you'll have some smaller ribeyes. That's not always the case, but sometimes.
Well, and does it make a difference in the meat that they're probably older? Hey, guys, while we're paying the bills, let's talk about one of our oldest sponsors that's been with us since the beginning, Geiger Brothers. Geiger Brothers is headquartered in Jackson, Ohio, with offices in Columbus, Ohio, and Knoxville, Tennessee. We provide construction services in Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee. A veteran and dynamic staff of talented people, symbolic of our 100-year history of success, gives Geiger Brothers a distinct advantage. Leveraging that experience for our customers allows us the ability to provide consistent and superior performance for their construction, engineering, and fabrication needs. And hey, we've had several of these guys on our shows. Scott Massey, Kyle Hickey, Shay Meredith, just to name a few. Go back, look through some of the old episodes and get to know them. It's a great group of people that have been with us for a long time, and we certainly appreciate it. So enjoy tonight's show, courtesy of Geiger Brothers here in Jackson.
Some people argue.
I mean, they're older, correct?
Yeah, some people argue that means
not
more
always.
tender.
Okay.
Some people will argue that, and yes, they may be older by a month or two.
Okay.
But some people will argue that the heifers will finish better, meaning they'll have more marble to them.
Okay.
Meaning fat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meaning basically they were blood clot away from diet anyway.
Well, not necessarily. That's where the genetics come into play.
Okay, so tell me about it.
So we're looking for intermuscular fat, not
You want fatty muscle.
yes. We're looking for the flakes in the muscle,
Sure.
not the heavy back fat.
Not the lard that you think like icing on a cake.
Correct.
You want fat cells inside the muscle. Mm-hmm. Why?
That's where that is where your flavor comes from, your tenderness and your flavor. So when you bite into it and your mouth just explodes with this juice of joy.
Yeah.
That's coming from the marble.
Okay.
The
What breed of cattle are you?
heavy Angus.
Okay.
We do some Simmental cross. Years ago, we got into limousine. I love the limousine, but
Like limousine.
1 out of every 10 will be stupid. I promise
I agree.
you.
I agree.
Absolutely stupid.
They say you hear everything.
I figured you'd be shipping in some Wagyu or
That'll be the next pod.
That'll be the next pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not there yet, are you?
Hopefully in 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah. I thought you was a minute.
Good.
That's in. Like, are you going to try to like take pictures of this herd and say, "Hey, here's what you're eating"?
We do that now.
Yeah.
and I have to. Ashley is constantly beating me over the head because, just before we was coming here, we're putting together thank you cards to put in the boxes.
Sure.
So I was sending her some pictures, and we're constantly taking pictures of the herd, of the cattle. You know, right now we're calving, so we'll get pictures of the boys out when we're checking the calves and stuff. And that's what I love to see. You know, how are you raising the cattle? What is the cattle's environment like that they're living in?
Right.
The Ashleys and the moms of the world don't want to see that.
No.
They don't want to see.
They don't want to think about that part.
No.
Yeah. I figured that might get you in more hot water than cold.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
So
some.
she's
I
like-
don't want to see that shit. I just want to eat it.
Exactly. Yes. So we're taking pictures of the
do it
operation.
tastefully. Yeah, do it tastefully.
Yeah, I think it's cool, man.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So
Well, I think it's going to go great. So it's live tomorrow. Well, we will. So your podcast,
Lazy Creek.
yeah. How can they find? Well, you'll have a page.
yeah, we'll have a Facebook page, and then you can go to choplocal.com and then enter your location up, and we'll pop right up.
Perfect.
That's awesome, man.
All right. Hey, hope you feel better.
Hey, buddy,
We're here.
get well.
All right.
Fat knee.
Chubbies. See you next trip. Chad, you got anything?
Like,
Yeah.
subscribe.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
All right. See you.